60 seconds with Dacara.
Alright, what's your hometown? Where you from?
Maryland.
Alright, where's your birthday?
August 8th.
Alright, what's your favorite color?
Pink.
Okay, what's your dream occupation?
Real estate.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, what's your biggest pet peeve?
Mean people.
I don't like mean people either. What's your
Mean
favorite artist?
Police in Maryland making an arrest in the disappearance and murder of 19-year-old Dacara Thompson. The suspect, a man in the country illegally, who was in federal custody earlier this year.
Behind me is the house where police say Dacara Thompson was murdered. It's on Cambridge Drive here in Bowie. The suspect living with other relatives who say he has a drinking problem, a drug problem, and they say they told police they heard a woman's voice in his bedroom that night. The people who live in this neighborhood tell us they are stunned by this news.
This is a nice family community, and you know, we don't hear about stuff like this, but it's very distressing, and I'm just so sorry for the family.
On a regular summer evening, 19-year-old Dacara Thompson left her home in Lanham, Maryland. It was supposed to be a simple trip. She was just going to get gas. But that night, everything changed. The last text she sent her father was short and sweet. "I got gas and I'm out. I should be back soon. I love you too. Good night." But Dacara never came home. Her father, already starting to worry as the hours passed, called the police. But what followed would be far worse than anyone could have expected. Days went by, and still, there were no answers. What happened to Dacara? Where was she? Was she still alive? Then, on August 31st, 2025, the discovery was made. Dacara's body was found in a grassy patch off Route 50 in Anne Arundel County. She had been missing for over a week. The question everyone was asking: how did this happen? What followed next was a frantic investigation. Police scoured through hours of surveillance footage, hoping to uncover some clue. And what they found? It was chilling. Just hours before her disappearance, Dacara was seen leaving a nightclub in Hyattsville. She approached a black GMC Yukon Denali. She talked to someone inside. And then, without hesitation, she climbed in. She was never seen again. The vehicle drove to a house in Bowie, Maryland, a location investigators would soon trace back to a suspect, Hugo Hernandez Mendez, a 35-year-old man with a criminal past. A man living in the U.S. illegally, with a history of trouble. He had no business being in the country. Yet, somehow, he was free to do whatever he wanted. And Dacara paid the price. Inside that house in Bowie, investigators believe Dacara was killed. Her body was then thrown from the South River Bridge, over 30 feet to the ground below. What was the motive? Why was Dacara targeted?
Well, tonight, that neighbor tells me that he is shocked just days after this case unfolded. I want to show you how close he lives next to the suspect's house. You see right here, this is where the neighbor lives. And right here, this is the home where 35-year-old Hugo Hernandez Mendez lived. And police served a search warrant here at the suspect's house. They say they found blood stains, women's lingerie, hair from a wig consistent with one Dacara Thompson wore, and a fingernail that matches the one missing from Dacara's hand.
Yeah, Shamari, I've lived next door to these people for years.
Cody is breaking his silence after he says he talked to Prince George's County homicide detectives about the murder of 19-year-old Dacara Thompson.
It is the first time I'm speaking publicly about this. Like I said, I live directly next door. I was 40 feet away from where the attack happened.
Living next door to suspect 35-year-old Hugo Hernandez Mendez, the alleged illegal immigrant who police say killed Dacara Thompson inside his bedroom in this home in Bowie, Maryland. Cody tells me he stepped outside his house early morning on August 23rd and saw something burning in the suspect's backyard.
Hernandez Mendez was arrested, but the question remained. Who was this man? What led to Dacara being in his car that night? Was she tricked? Or was there some connection between them that we don't yet know? The answers were slowly emerging, but they weren't enough to explain the loss that was felt by so many. Dacara was described as a sweet, soft-spoken young woman, a recent high school graduate with a bright future ahead of her. She had dreams, ambitions, and loved ones who relied on her. Yet, in the blink of an eye, her life was taken from her. Her mother, Carmen Thompson, couldn't understand why her daughter had been taken so suddenly. She recalled the night Dacara left for the gas station. Carmen had no reason to think that anything bad could happen to her. But it did. And Carmen's grief turned to anger when she learned that Hernandez Mendez had been previously arrested for DUI but was allowed to remain in the country. How could the system have failed her daughter so badly?
Extremely limited in any information that I can provide today. But I'll say this. The goal of this office is to achieve justice for Dacara Thompson and for her family. And that goal requires that my office have the ability to fully investigate and to thoroughly review any and all evidence in this case in order to make a determination regarding the appropriate charges for indictment. In addition, this office's primary concern is not the legal status of the defendant, or frankly of any other defendant. My concern is to hold accountable people who commit crimes against the residents of Prince George's County. My job is to hold accountable anyone who commits a crime in Prince George's County against, again, our residents. At this point, there is not much more than I can say other than, as the state's attorney, it is my job to ensure that the process is fair, that it is transparent and in full accordance with the law. And we will remain steadfast in our commitment to achieving justice. Thank you.
Are there any other suspects that you're looking at, any other people possibly involved in this?
Again, this case is under investigation, and so I cannot further comment as to the nature of any other suspects or any part of the investigation. Again, there were charges. The commissioner's office found probable cause. The judge has now held this defendant without bond. But as to the strength of the case, I can't comment on that at this particular point.
Jasmine? Are you able to share what's next in indictment or in terms of the legal process?
In terms of what's next, our office again has to thoroughly review not only the charges that were lodged against the defendant, but the evidence that the police have collected in this case and continue to investigate where necessary, along with all of our law enforcement partners. And we'll make a determination in short order as to the appropriateness of any charges and what those charges will be. And then we would present to the grand jury for indictment.
Has there been a cause and manner of death determined at this point, and is there anything holding that up, as far as that process?
At this point, I can't speak to that, but we will. I can't speak to anything else that was not revealed within the statement of charges.
Any other questions?
Would anyone from the family be willing to speak?
Would you get your name, please?
Carmen Thompson.
Carmen Thompson?
Yes.
And you are a?
I'm the mother of Dacara Thompson.
What were your thoughts in being at the hearing today? And our hearts go out to you for your loss, first off. What do you want to say now that this justice process is moving forward?
I would like to thank the PG County State's Attorney's Office for the great service that they've been providing. I just want justice served for my daughter.
How are you guys doing? How's the family doing right now?
Is, as good as a family could be under these circumstances, so not so good. We're trying to maintain.
Tell us a little bit about your daughter. She was 19, just getting started, a young lady out of high school. Tell us about her, please.
My daughter, she had just turned 19 years old prior to this unfortunate circumstance. She was working under Westmore's Maryland Year Service Corps option, whatever it's called, program. She had just completed a year-long internship in which she was very successful. She did a great job. She was a kind of an outgoing, soft-spoken, kind young lady. She was a free spirit. She was a good girl. She was a good kid. So there's been a lot of people disparaging her character on social media and things as such. Please don't believe everything you see. Don't believe everything you hear. Out of respect for the family and us grieving, please, approach everything with grace. We would appreciate that.
Ma'am, do you have any thoughts about this notion that this guy was arrested by Park Police and released back in April?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
This man, Mr. Hernandez-Mendez,
Yes.
was arrested by the United States Park Police for drunk driving in April 25th on the BW Parkway. He was subsequently released. There was no check of his immigration status or anything like that. There were no warrants at the time, no detainer. But he was in federal custody. And then he was released, and he is in the country without proper documentation, and now they've filed.
I'm very disappointed, finding that out now, because we may not be here today if they did what they were supposed to do.
Is there any indication that the victim may have known this person or crossed paths with him ever in her life?
Let me again say that I just want to be clear, and out of respect for the family as well, any questions regarding the nature of the investigation would be harmful to our investigation at this particular point. So I want to make sure that we don't delve into any of that information. And I will say, you asked a question earlier. As always, there'll be an autopsy that's performed as a part of the investigation.
Last question, Katie.
Carmen, and then a follow-up from Madam State's Attorney. The family often has a long journey after a crime like this happens.
Yes.
The trauma as the case moves forward, and the victims have to outlive the crime itself. Is the family prepared for what's about to happen in the coming months? The grueling work of retelling the story, working with investigators, everything that's to come.
That's a tough question. That's a tough question because we know it's going to be extremely hard. We just ask that everybody pray for our strength through the process.
And Madam State's Attorney, the DC U.S. Attorney has blamed Maryland for crime in the district and for guns coming into the county. Have you seen any change recently given the surge in the district just across the border in Maryland, or anything that has been different after the national troops have been in the district?
All I'll say to that is that we continue to work with our law enforcement partners both in Prince George's County and in the district to make sure that that we're protecting the residents of this county. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Best of luck, Ms. Thompson. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for coming.
Now tonight, Hugo Hernandez-Mendez is in jail without bond. His next court appearance is on October 8th. We reached out to ICE, U.S. Park Police, and Prince George's County Police, and we are waiting for them to get back to us. On the other side of the house, I just want to take the time real quick to show you the front. You can see there is a memorial that has grown. A woman around an hour ago dropped off some more balloons here. This is the community showing support for Dacara Thompson because this is where police say the murder happened.
Oh, no.